Dr. Pimple Popper. Another good one that makes you feel good. Again, we have these down days, these down weeks. Life gets tricky, man. People don't talk about it enough, that just how much certain shows can just give you that mood boost that you're looking for. Could really turn the entire year around. Dr. Pimple Popper is a show where you're like, man, I needed this. I was having a weird off week. I missed my best bud's birthday. I was late on a cable payment. Then you turn on Pimple Popper and you're like, at least I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? At least I'm not walking into her office like, hey, I got a foot on my shoulder. You got any cream for the shoulder foot, Dr. Pimple Popper? It's like, Jesus, Grover, how'd you escape Sesame Street? Got out of your contract?
I like saying thank you to the pilot when I walk off the plane. I like doing that. How many people say thank you to the pilot when you get off the plane? All right. It's a decent amount, but it's not everybody. What's wrong with you? Why are you gonna be a jerk? That's all they want. That's all a pilot wants. If you fly, that's the first thing. As soon as they park, the door just flies open at the front. They're just like... Hey, did you notice how we didn't all die? You're welcome. You're welcome for that. I did that for you. And we all just shuffle off in our pajama bottoms and Crocs, like, don't make eye contact with me. So rude. That's all they want is a thank you for that job. They're up there. They're tucked in up there. They are tucked in with dress shoes the whole time. And we're back there with like half a in sweatpants. Like, nodding off on pills and tiny bottles of booze. They're wearing a goddamn sport coat up there for you. You ever look in a cockpit? It's a panic room. It's just a chamber. It's a chamber of anxiety for anybody that doesn't know. And they know all the buttons, all the switches. They know what to do. The windshield, that's arbitrary. That's for us. If a pilot sees something wrong out the windshield, we're dead. We're already dead. Like nobody's gonna get on a plane without a windshield. That's for you guys to feel all right. If something's going wrong out there, we're f***ed, man. We're just straight up. I'll tell you that. At the beginning, they get in there and just know. They're like, every switch, like, don't die, don't die, don't die. Will not die. We won't die here. Won't die if I do that. Better not die, better not die, better not die. Oh, here's the big old good luck lever. We need that. Don't die. Almost, if I didn't do this, we would have definitely died. Look, thank God, don't die. And here we go, not dying. And then we all just hung over, shuffling off like the landing was a little choppy. I don't know.
I don't really have a body built for sport. It's built more for pastry. That's why all my dogs are named after Italian pasta dishes and desserts. That's what makes sense for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all my dogs. Gatto Pups and Friends, my rescue. I got so many dogs, you know? It wouldn't make sense if my dogs were named any other way. Like if my dogs were named after exercise routines, it's off-brand. I can't be like, yeah, these are my dogs. Push-ups, sit-ups, treadmill. No. I got cannoli, biscotti, spumoni, tartufo, tiramisu. Yeah. Linguine, ravioli, the brother and sister fettuccine alfredo. Cupcake, broccoli rabe. I got them all. And I got 2 kids. What the f*** are their names? But with the dogs, it's not bad, you know, because they're all old, like, senior dogs, and they're all, like, falling apart. I had this one dog, Messin, okay, 14 years old, 5 pounds, 0 teeth. The tongue just hung out of the mouth, one of those numbers. Blind as shit. Used to walk off everything. Chairs, stairs, beds. Whoop. It was like a stunt dog. He was the Tom Cruise of Bajan Frisés. I'm outside the house. I have an in-the-ground pool. One day, here comes Messin, whoop, splash into the water. And I'm thinking what we're all thinking. It'll swim. It's a dog. They have a swim name specifically for them, the doggy paddle, right? All dogs know how to swim like all chickens know how to dance. Messin hits the water, starts doing this half-assed, one-armed. Starts spinning in a circle and sinking into the abyss. Down to the bottom, I jump in fully clothed. I can't have this dog die on my watch. I'm the dog father. Pick him up, hold him high, like he's Simba from The Lion King. I'm drying him off. I'm looking at his blind little peepers. And that's when I realize what's happened here is I have foiled a suicide attempt. He's looking at me like, Why, Joseph? 14 years, bro. Come on, what more could you want from me?
No, I used to have commitment issues, you know. I was really running. I used to have commitment issues. Not like has a 2-door car, afraid of commitment. You know, but I was running. I think I just had some experiences that made me scared. And also, you know, I have this problem where I just believe literally anything anyone tells me. And I like to see the best in people, you know? Like, I live by the Celebrity Center, Scientology Center in Hollywood. And every time I drive by, I go, no, bad, danger, drive. Bad, keep going, drive. But then the other day, I saw a banner outside of it that said double outdoor feature of Hocus Pocus and Hook. And I was like, you know what? That has some good ideas. Yeah, they do.
A little side note, when I was 16, I had a driving instructor. He was from Germany. I was a little fat Jewish kid, and that was terrifying for me, okay? I was a little fat kid. I had a little mullet, sideburns shaved in, you know, little lightning bolts shaved in the side. He turned to me. We were driving in the car. He was like, "When you are parallel parking, you must always make sure not to Hitler's the car in front of you." It was like he said Hitler. I heard him say Hitler. I could hear him sitting right next to him. We were driving together. He was like, "If you cross a double yellow line, you'll get a very expensive ticket, and you'll not be allowed to pay half of the cost of the ticket. You will be responsible for the Holocaust." What? Responsible for the Holocaust? What, are you kidding me? He tried to teach me how to do hand signals. He was like, "Put your hand out the window and left turn." No, I will not do hand signals. I still don't do hand signals to this day. Not doing hand signals. He would yell at me all the time we were driving. He was like, "When you get to a stop sign, you need to make a full and complete stop." I was like, "Can you please stop yelling at me? You're freaking me out." He was like, "Maybe you should hide in your attic like a little girl." Oh no, that's an Anne Frank joke. And you fell for it. And now you're going to hell. And I'll see you there.
I also have a 14-year-old daughter, and I gave her a chore list with 3 words on it, and she goes, "Where's your chore list?" You ever had a kid say something to you that then they're serious, but then you almost ruin it because you laugh? That's what I was like, "Oh, God, what?" And I just go, "What did you say?" And she goes, "Where's your chore?" She slowed it down like I actually didn't hear her, you know? So I said, "You know everything that happens in this house to make this home operate? Subtract the 3 things I asked you to do, and that is my chore list. Remember when you woke up in a bed, warm and not hungry? Check. I did that. So my chore list also has 3 words on it, and it says, keep her alive. And it expires in 4 years, so focus. She's 14 now. When she was 12, I started listening to podcasts about periods. And I know that seems creepy. I'm positive I'm on a list somewhere. But I never wanted to be the dad that had to send her to her mom to ask her all those questions. I don't want, that's a question for your mom. You know where to find me if you want to play catch. I mean, it's like ridiculous, right? So
I finally figured out the right way to let screens babysit your kids. You got to break out the good stuff. You see, back in my day, we had a roadrunner and a coyote who dropped anvils on each other's heads. We had a guy named He-Man who got amazing powers by holding up a piece of metal in a lightning storm. And we had a cat and mouse who ran around a house all day chasing each other with meat cleavers. Today, the plot of literally every children's TV show is, this character has a group of supportive friends. And they recycle. They won't stream the good stuff anymore, so I wised up and I bought some bootleg copies on eBay of some old cartoons. Let me just tell you, the first time I popped in a 1976 Looney Tunes, my 8-year-old son saw one character light a stick of TNT, throw it at his enemy. The enemy comes running back on fire, shooting 3 bazookas at once. My son turned around and said, "You have been holding out on me."
I think white people are the only race of people that like to be scared for fun. Like, you feel me? Not an attack. Doesn't make you bad. Makes you interesting. But not bad, but bungee jumping, skydiving, swimming with sharks, these are torture tactics. Some of you pay for them. That's a curveball. I just think white people get to have a different relationship with fear. Doesn't make anyone bad, I just think it's an interesting observation. White people can have a different relationship with fear. Like, I think white people are the only people you could walk up to and just be like, hey, you wanna do something scary today? And y'all won't just outright say no. You feel me? You'll be like, well, what do you got in mind? You feel me? But like, you go to anybody of another race, they're like, no. But like, white people have follow-up questions sometimes. They're like, well, what are you thinking? Okay. Look at roller coasters, right? Theme park owners know white people love being scared so much, you'll pay for a picture of your own face terrified. That's their business model. That's how reliable it is. They were like, yeah, that's where we're gonna get the rest of the money. I've been in so many white homes and seen a framed picture of the entire family terrified. Why? Why is that even a thing? I haven't been in one black family's home and seen a picture of 4 black people absolutely terrified. And they're like, yeah, that's the time I got stuck up at gunpoint, right there. That's us. This is where I tried to sell my kids for my own life. So wild to me, man. And understand what I'm saying, because I understand I'm generally speaking, right? I'm speaking in generalities. I understand there's special case scenarios for everything. So please, like, I'm not being irresponsible with this. Just be on the same page with me. I'm just saying, generally speaking, though, that kind of holds true. I'm saying, generally speaking, I feel like white people feel fear so rarely that y'all schedule it as a vacation activity. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, literally put it on a schedule. You're like, at 12, we're gonna have lunch. At 1, we're gonna pet a tiger. You're like, what the f*** are you talking about? A tiger? Huh? You know what no one black has ever said to me? I wanna go on a safari. Not once. I got so many black friends, no one's ever wanted to go. It's our country, and we're like, nah. But I have so many white friends that want to go. Doesn't make them bad. I'm just saying it's an interesting difference that you can spot and go, oh, shit, okay. Why doesn't a safari sound insane to everybody? I didn't realize it was something we were so, like, polarized on. I thought we were all of the same mind, like, that's f***ing crazy. And apparently, we don't agree. I never understood, like, why it isn't crazy. You want to go to the zoo without the walls? That's what we want to do? You want to take away my favorite part of the zoo? The part where they can't get me? That's what we're taking away? Oh, all right. Every time I go to the zoo, people are looking at the animals. I'm looking at the structures. I'm like, that's a good wall. Like that net. Love that glass. I've never understood it. Why doesn't a Safari sound dangerous to everybody? It's not even a safe web browser. You feel me? You ever open up Safari in front of somebody with Firefox? Like, what the f*** are you doing, man?
And I will admit it, I love a hot dude, you know? I do love a hot dude. I'm glad they're around, you know? They really bring a room together. I like to see a good look. To me, it's like looking at a sunset or a horse. Like, I'm not attracted. I'm like, look at him. I'm glad he's here. The party's lit. Like, you ever been in a party and a dude walks in, you're just like, who the f*** is that guy? All right. There he is. Nice. This is awesome. I just like to objectify, you know? And I'm done doing it with women. I think that is dead. Like, enough of that. Women have had enough objectification. Let's start objectifying men as straight men. That's what I say. Let's switch it. Why not? I like a beautiful man. And it's fun to do it to their face. Like, I'm married, I'm beyond off the market. I will make a hot dude feel uncomfortable at a party. Just walk right up to him like, all right, this is great. I'm digging this, yeah. Yeah, look at you. All right, just stare at a weird part, like his stomach or something. Like, yeah, that's great. I love this. Spin around, let me see the whole package. He's like, I'm not gay, man. Neither am I. What's up? What are we doing later? It's like, I don't know. Whose friend is this? This is really weird. I'm not into this. Objectifying dudes. I don't think it's my fault, though, because I grew up in the homoeroticism of 80s action movies. Anybody else? Ridiculous. Every guy was shirtless, cut, and shiny. Everybody. Every Rocky movie, I've seen so many boxing matches, I've never seen them whip out a bucket of baby oil like they did in Rocky. Why did Ivan Drago look like he was made of chrome? Like, it made no sense. Just gleaming like so much. Schwarzenegger, Rambo, like everybody was just veiny, muscular, just steroided out. And this was a time where I was judged if I said any of my friends was attractive, if they were a man, right? Like, I'd be like, whoa, Zach's good looking, like, ugh! Everyone freak out. What are you, queer? You want to marry him? Like, I'm not going to marry you, Dennis. You're ugly as If I had to marry a man, I would take Zach. He has gentle eyes. Son of a bitch. It's a ridiculous time. Jean-Claude Van Damme doing his crazy splits. It was so, all of us guys were like, yeah, I like that. I like his body. I like the way he moves. Queer? What? Like, who cares? My wife is she's the greatest thing ever. Love her to death. We've been together almost 7 years, and I've only farted in front of her once. It's like three months ago. Didn't even know it was coming. I'm 41. I feel like I'm still in the pocket where, like, you should know when you got one coming. But I had no idea. That sucks. I just was like trying to run out the door and I just tripped and I was like, ah! And I screamed really loud. You know, sometimes you either scream, ah! Ah! Or you try to cough over the fart. I don't know what asshole introduced those moves, by the way. Some dude went up to all the dudes and was like, yeah, dude, if you gotta let one rip, and then you don't know. It's like, hey, dum-dum, the two sounds don't cancel each other out. They just highlight each other even more. Girls don't even know how to cover farts up because you don't feel them coming. You know, pregnancy cramps, those are familiar feelings. Farts come and go like ships in the night. I have a lot of genuine empathy when I see or hear a girl let one slip. It's traumatizing, man. You girls get so just like, you just don't, like, I've seen girls fart and move out of the country and start new lives because they're so ashamed. They're just like, oh my God, that wasn't me. We have to leave tonight. Grab the kids, we'll move to Chile. I'll become a baker. Open the window, Corinne. That's the noise, too. It's a woman fart. That's why nobody thinks you do it, gals, because it never sounds like a fart. It's like somebody just put a mouse in a headlock? What do you... Did a hot air balloon take off in the backyard? Some of you gals go to great lengths to cover up your tracks. You know, you just go to bed at like noon or lock the door. Or, you know, the creativity, it's impressive. I've seen girls just, you know, an extra level goes off in your brain when you're trying to commit to the urban myth that you don't fart. I've seen girls just, you know, they're like, yeah, no, I don't even fart. Never have, never will.
I like to collect other people's business cards and give them out as myself at a later date. I've been the CEO of some major corporations. Public restrooms are a good time. That's it. There's no joke. That's just an observation. If I'm in the stall, I like to leave the door unlocked. Not open. Unlocked. Just to invite a little bit of mystery and danger to the party. And I'll just sit there waiting. I've set my trap like I'm trying to catch a raccoon out by the barn. Inevitably, somebody will open the door and I'll go, oh, you made it. I could begin. But the urinals, fellas, we know the urinals are weird. We can make them weirder if we try. 3 levels of awkwardness, okay? Level 1, super easy, okay? Don't skip the empty urinal. Stand right next to the fella and just snuggle in while you're taking the peeps. Bonus points if you whisper the word impressive. Level 2, step up to the plate, take out your wiener, scream and start taking pictures of it. Level 3, the Joe Gatto level of awkwardness, the master class, if you will. You're gonna step up to that urinal, just go ahead and use that bad boy backwards. That was the shake at the end. The best part of that is when you're mounted up and using the urinal backwards, if somebody walks in, look them in the face like they're weird. And just follow them as they walk across the bathroom, be like, that guy, right? Impressive.
I use TV for all sorts of stuff because I'd never seen this life that I'm living done. I turned to the TV for inspiration for myself. I openly admit, I actually, I learned a lot about what it means to be a mom from that classic TV show that makes having a big family look like so much fun. You know, Game of Thrones? Oh, that was very inspiring to me. I would watch that show and I'd be like, nobody asks those moms what they do all day. I don't see them having to make a meal plan. I said, you know, these women on this show, man, they get involved in everyone's drama so that all their kids can marry rich and nobody in this family ever has to work again. I'm like, that is a model of motherhood I can get into. I realized I'm not a stay-at-home mom, I'm a stay-at-home matriarch.
Are you animals still eating Triscuits over wheat thins? I know you are. I traveled this whole country, pulling everyone, and you're all eating Triscuits over wheat thins. Yeah, you're sick. You're sick, and you need God. You do, yeah. Triscuits over wheat thins. Oh, Triscuits! Triscuits! Sure. If I wanted a mouthful of hay, I would go to a dance table. Oh, Triscuits! Sure. If I wanted my mouth mutilated by flavorless debris. I would go tumbleweed. Oh, Triscuits, sure. People say, Blair, melt some pepper jack cheese on it. Oh, really? I would eat melted cheese on a pile of shit, okay? Happily, I would. Melted cheese is incredible. I'd eat it on anything. I'd choke down barbed wire with melted cheese on it. What I have to say to you sickos is why don't you reach inside yourselves and summon the self-esteem to choose a standalone quality cracker. Oh, Triscuits, sure. If I was dying on a raft and there was only one Triscuit, I wouldn't be able to eat it because I'd immediately die of thirst on impact. Oh, Triscuits, sure. If I wanted a Triscuit, I'd empty a paper shredder into my mouth. What? You guys are the ones out here raw dogging Triscuits. My God. Sometimes people come up to me because they want to try and get cheeky with the big dog. And they'll be like, but Blair, have you tried the triangle once? Have you tried the olive tapenade rosemary Triscuits? I'm like, do you hear yourself right now? You sound like you're talking about the good times with an abusive boyfriend.
And every morning I wake up and I roll over and I go, good morning, stuff. No, this is how I wake up. My alarm goes off and I go, what? Because alarms get the deal out of everything we own. Like, they're just doing what we ask them to do, and we're furious every time. And you might not know this, but when you wake up in the morning, you go, what? Snooze. Alarm and snooze are actually good cop, bad cop in the mornings. They are, because alarm is like, get the out of bed right now, and snooze is like, don't worry about him, I'm on your side. Take another 8 minutes, you deserve it. You're so pretty when you're sleeping. So one morning, I woke up and I went, what, snooze? And I rolled over and went, good morning, stuff. And I just happened to see someone walk past my window down the street, and I had a horrible thought. I went, oh no, what if I end up being a hoarder? Like, a hoard's got to start somewhere. What if my pile of is the beginning of my hoard? Like, what if this little line on my hand that I've never looked at before actually says that I, die in 2032 and one of the 18 lawnmowers I keep in my kitchen fall on my head? No, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that. It's just choices. Life is just choices. We're in control. That's it. It's just us making choices and doing stuff. Like, you've been in control of every decision that you've made your whole lives that have led to you all being in this room here this evening. But that doesn't mean anything. It's not like this was always going to happen, right? I mean, you could have been anywhere tonight. You're not. No, it's just choices. We're in control. We're in control. We make the choices, big and small choices, and dealing with the outcomes of that. That's it. That's all it is, which is great. Choice is excellent, obviously. I do occasionally find choice a bit stressful, though. My nightmare is that when you die, there's actually 2 white lights. Just as a final you, wouldn't that be the worst? Come towards the light. Which one? Which one? Can't tell you, but one of them goes to the gym. No!
I don't believe anyone's ever applied for a job at IKEA, okay? I believe everyone who works there is just a customer that just got lost. They're just in there for too long. They're just wandering around. Got lost, they lost their party. They just wandered into the employee lounge. Someone sees them, an employee sees them crying. They go, "Oh my God, what happened? Did you get lost? Guess what? Your name's Sven." And they put a tag on him. "You're Sven now! You live in houseware, Sven! Now go eat some Swedish meatballs. And if anyone asks you for help, run the other way. Ignore, Sven, ignore."
I was raised Jewish in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, or so I thought. Then I moved to New York. Maybe I was raised Protestant because yeah, everyone here is more Jewish than I am. Everybody. My Puerto Rican neighbor knows more about Judaism than I do. Yeah, he'll come up to me and be like, "Shabbat Shalom, Ophira," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Because I have nothing more to say on this one. And I'm not from a stereotypical Jewish family in the sense that we were not rich Jews. I didn't even get the good end of the stereotype. Not rich Jews. We were very working class Jews. You know, we mowed our own lawns. We painted our own houses. We fixed our own cars. There's Sephardic Jews. There's Ashkenazi Jews. I'm from a very small sect called the DIY Jews. We are the DIY Jews. We are the Jews behind the Jews, really. Yeah. We're the heaps for hire. That's who we are, the heaps for hire. I will say this last year, too, I have looked at my phone way too much. I mean, your phone now tells you that. But I've looked at my phone way too much, and I get sucked into social media like nobody's business. I mean, Instagram, everyone's having more fun than I am. Twitter, everyone's saying funnier things than I am. But I've reached a new low because now I am scrolling through Venmo. Feeling bad about myself based on other people's banking transactions. That's Venmo FOMO. That is the lowest form of FOMO. But let me tell you something, the vaguer the description of what it is for, the more you feel left out. Because I'm just scrolling, and then it's like Sarah paid Michelle and just wrote, "Shenanigans." I'm like, I know Sarah and Michelle. Where was I? You know? What are shenanigans? I don't even know. They sound amazing. Like, I've been part of a shebang and I like cardigans, but I don't know what's a shenanigan. Sounds expensive. Sounds like dangerous mischief. I don't understand why that page is there. It serves no purpose. It's just for bragging. I have never looked at an ATM machine and thought, this needs a social aspect. You know, it really does. I need to know if anyone recently has given Michaela $40 for 2 tacos and a rainbow. You know, I need to know. So now I live in Brooklyn, and yeah, I like it. Yeah, I know lots of Brooklyn people. So you know, neighborhood's great. However, 3 months ago there was a shooting on our street. Nobody got hurt, but here's what happened. Someone came by in the middle of the night and shot 3 shots in 3 consecutive doorways. Boom, boom, boom. And just to give you an idea of the street, if they would have kept going, the next doorway would be a yoga studio. All right? So the yoga ladies went insane. They were like, this place has bad vibes! You know, they were mad. And then the real estate agents were like, how are we gonna sell these apartments for millions of dollars now? And then the families were like, is this a safe place for our children? And everyone wanted to know what the shooter looked like. That's all they cared about. They were like, what does the shooter look like? What do we know about this guy? Was he black? Was he white? Hispanic? What do we know about this guy? What does he look like? And then news came back that the shooter was a woman. Yeah. And the conversation totally changed. Oh yeah. Everyone was like, oh, did she get him? I mean, clearly he had it coming, but did she get him? The yoga ladies were on board. They were like, we will finish the job, you know, just whipping around their mats. The real estate agents were using it as marketing. They're like, the kind of street where a woman's in charge. Even the families were like, you know, you can stand up for yourself like that woman did. She was a hero. And the only thing they cared about how the woman shooter looked was if she looked satisfied. And then gossip in the neighborhood circulated again, and news came back that the woman shooter was a hired gun. She was hired to do the job. I know! That has got to be something that you get paid for over Venmo. Right? That would be a shenanigan. I'm just saying. That would be a shenanigan.
My wife, she's white. Whoa, it got quiet. Okay. But my wife is just not white. She white. Now, I know a lot of people in here are white, and you're questioning yourselves right now going, am I white? No. My wife is whiter than you. My wife is from Gillette, Wyoming white. You hear that? When white people intimidate, like, damn. That's white. But we got a beautiful family, man. We got 2 kids. My son is now 5, my daughter's 2, and they're black, white, and Asian. That's right. We gave birth to pandas. We call them Ling Ling and Sing Sing. And my last special, I talked about this when my son was born, because I didn't have a daughter at that time. When my son was born and the doctor handed me my son. It's crazy as a father because I knew I would die for him, right? And I don't even know this dude. He could be a terrible human being, but I would die for him, you know? But when they handed me my daughter, oh, it was different. I was like, oh, okay. I would kill for you. I became a murderer overnight. Because the family dynamic to me is crazy. Like, I would die for my son, I would kill for my daughter. But here's what's crazy. I wouldn't kill for my wife. Because that's not my job. That's her father's job. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Because I love both of my kids the same. But the love is in different directions. My son, I want him to be able to take care of himself, be strong. But I know for the rest of my life, I'm going to protect my daughter. 100%. And what's the biggest threat to women? Look at that. Men. So now I hate all men. I became a lesbian activist overnight. / murderer. I'm Ellen DeGeneres with a gun. Because every man's a threat to my daughter. Every single man eventually will be a threat to my daughter. I hate my son. Sometimes I hate my son. Why? Because he's a threat to my daughter. We all have baby cams and watching my kids play. My daughter's playing with her little toy. My son walks over and grabs the toy from her. I get so angry, but then my daughter grabs it back and I'm like, yeah, that's my baby girl. Right? Don't take no man's crap. But then my son looks around to see if anybody's watching. Starts backing up where she is, and he hits her with his butt. And she falls to the ground and starts crying. I get so angry inside. I'm so mad. I want to this little dude up, right? But I can't. He's only 5, and it's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight. All I can do is scream and like, hey, you better stop that. And he runs off. But my daughter could hit my son with a brick in the face. I'd be like, hey, girl, good job, good job.
My new fear, now that COVID has subsided, is being pushed onto the subway tracks. I don't know if you guys get our news here in Nashville, you know? The Nashville Tribune or the Nashville Inquisitor, I'm not sure what your paper is called. But we're pushing each other on the subway tracks. And the big problem is, you don't know who's gonna push you. If it was one person, we could strategize around that individual, but it could be anybody. And I'll tell you what the answer isn't. Asking each person on the platform if they're thinking about pushing. Because I saw a guy who looked suspicious and I said, sir, you don't look right. Are you thinking about pushing? He goes, I wasn't before you mentioned it. But to be honest, now that you brought it up, it sounds like it might be refreshing. Yeah, guys, it's pushing season. So I just assumed I'm getting pushed, you know. Every time I'm on the platform, I get in a stance. Knee slightly bent, head on a swivel. You know, good form, getting ready to get pushed. Because I feel like if I get pushed, a lot of the trains are delayed. I can pop back up. Now I'm in that guy's head, you know? So no one talks about the pop-up. You're ready to get pushed, and you get pushed, and you pop back up. It shows that guy I'm resilient, right? He's just gonna push me in front of a train, dog. Am I relating to some of the younger people that way? Maybe, should I say dog at the end of the jokes? It's just, I'm trying to relate to the Gen Zs. So I'm on the platform, knees slightly bent, head on a swivel, ready to get pushed. I see a guy I know, he's a waiter at one of the clubs I work. I go, hey man, what's up? How was your pandemic? He goes, pretty good. I go, are you going back to work soon? He goes, I don't do that anymore. I sell Bitcoin now. He goes, do you know what Bitcoin is? I go, I don't think anyone actually knows what Bitcoin is. He goes, well, let me explain it to you. And about 5 minutes into the explanation, I was like, I'd rather you just push me onto the tracks. So now I'm taking Lyft, and I know you guys probably don't take Lyft, you know, because you guys have cars. I'm sorry, trucks. I don't like Lyft, you know. I like to put in where I'm going. I want Lyft to give me the price and how long it's going to take to pick me up. And Lyft initially does that, but then they start negotiating, and I don't like that. They're like, hey, Mike, instead of picking you up in 4 minutes, how about we knock $1.75 off and we pick you up in 22 minutes? Would that be cool? No, Lyft, that would not be cool. I'm in a dangerous neighborhood. I might not be alive in 22 minutes. Well, how about we knock $4 off and we send you a car with a driver who may or may not be drunk? You might have to actually drive. How about we knock $8 off and we just send you a guy, no car? I go, is this even Lyft anymore? This feels like Grindr. This feels like a gay hookup app. And I am not gay. But I do love a discount. So I guess it's decision time for me. And how much feedback does Lyft need? I'm flying out of LaGuardia, which is one of our airports in New York. I fly out like at 6 a.m. I get to the airport, my phone's blowing up. I'm like, who's calling me this early? Who's texting me? It's Lyft with a bunch of questions. How was the ride? Rate the driver. Review the ride. Give him a tip. Give him a compliment. I'm like, oh my God. I wanted a ride to the airport. I didn't want to become a foster parent. How much work is this? So I just did it old school, verbally. I go, Farik. His name was Farik. I say to him, I go, Farik, 4 out of 5 stars. You got me to the airport beautifully, but you were yelling at your wife in Farsi the entire trip. And I feel obligated to tell you that yelling is toxic and problematic. It's no longer ethnic. It is now toxic and problematic. Have you guys been flying during the Pandeezy? The Pandays? The Pandas. But all my flights have been delayed because they're cleaning and sanitizing the plane. That's what they say. We're cleaning and sanitizing every part of the plane. And it's like, can you get there 15 minutes early to clean and sanitize? They go, no, we're cleaning and sanitizing. That's the reason for our delays. Nobody overslept. We're cleaning and sanitizing every part of the plane. So I get on the plane and I head to the emergency row. That's where I sit. I'm a hero. And there's crumbs in my seat. So I go to the flight attendant. I go, did you clean and sanitize the plane? She goes, we cleaned and sanitized every part of the plane. I go, what'd you clean it with? Cookies? And then I was going to ask for seat reassignment. If you're not comfortable in the emergency row, you guys know that you can do that. You can ask for a seat reassignment. But have you ever asked for seat reassignment? They get real mad. You get more support asking for gender reassignment than you do for seat reassignment. I don't want you to think that I don't follow the rules. I do follow the rules. My problem is when someone is trying to exert power over me. I don't like that. If it's just the rules, I'll follow them. But when someone's trying to exert power, I buck. Example, I'm flying out of John F. Kennedy Airport. It's one of the airports we have in New York. So I'm taking my little bag, you know. I never check luggage. I have 5 outfits like this. So I take my little bag. Before I even get close to the woman, she goes, you're gonna have to check it. You're gonna have to check that. You will have to check it. And I go, but it's my emotional support bag. I have things in there that I need for emotional support. I watch you guys let people take dogs and pigs and chickens onto the plane. I would like to take my emotional support bag on. She goes, sir, that's not real. I go, apparently, miss, you don't know that much about mental health. Because it's very real. Now, I have a letter from my doctor. And I gave her the letter, and she read it, and she goes, this letter is fake. And I go, I know, I'm a liar, that's part of my disability. I need my emotional support bag. I have things in there for emotional support. She goes, there's a metal contraption next to the door. If you can fit your bag in that metal contraption, you could take it on the flight. So I try, guys, like 20 times, and it's not fitting. Yet I know that it will fit in the overhead compartment. This is a setup. So I have to take my bag back to her, defeated. And she goes, I'm very sorry, but like I said, you're gonna have to check your bag. I go, I don't think you are very sorry. I think you're quietly celebrating. And then there was a joke, you know, there was a joke to be made, so I made a joke. I go, I know this is John F. Kennedy Airport, but you're treating me like Lee Harvey Oswald. You know, give her a little shot, give her a little shot. Shot. She goes, be that as it may, sir, you will have to check your bag. I go, it's not even my bag. A stranger asked me to bring it onto the flight. And I'm trying to do somebody a solid. And this is what kindness gets at John F. Kennedy Airport? She goes, sir, what's so important that you have to take your bag on? What's in the bag? I go, I could tell you, but you're not gonna understand. She goes, try me. I go, inside the bag is Bitcoin. And she goes, what's Bitcoin? I go, well, let me explain it to you. And about 5 minutes into the explanation, she was like, just get on the plane. Take your stupid bag on the plane. Thank you.